The next question is, are you considering borrowing funds? This usually means one of two things, either that you have a policy that you're intending on selling, possibly, or maybe a premium financing case. So this question is super important. Also, Peter, this one could also represent possibly if you are doing a 1035 exchange, meaning that this principal policy that I have that is a universal life, and let's say I've had it for several years since I was a kid, and let's say it's got $100,000 worth of cash value in it, or I can surrender it for $100,000. I want to transfer that money from here into this new Lincoln policy and not be taxed for it. So that's one of the things that the U.S. has allowed that you don't get taxed on, because we're tax crazy, that as long as you are transferring the funds from one carrier to another and there's no gain, there is no tax consequences.
Okay. So this replacement is done mainly to make sure that he is surrendering his existing policy so that he is not overinsured, or to lower his existing premium amount.
Correct.
Am I right?
Correct. And I might not have any insurance in force. This might be my first application. And if that's the situation, that's okay too. I would, check the box that I have none.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is where you would put, any enforced applications that you have. Again, they're reiterating, even though the question's up here, if you're thinking about replacing or changing the policy in any form or way, this should be marked yes, if I do have. You'll see once in a while, this will be checked yes, and this will be checked no, with no replacement form. You'll see all kinds of weird stuff. Hopefully, when this is checked yes, this is checked yes as well. Okay? 1035 exchange is what I was telling you about, where they transfer the funds over with no tax consequences. If I don't have any in force, none of this would be completed at all. It's non-applicable. This section about, do you have any applications currently pending or plan to apply for any type of new coverage? Here again is the, where you could be possibly overinsured. They want to know, if you're applying for insurance elsewhere, and why? Well, what is your intent? Lots of times people will get, let's say this Lincoln application that I'm completing is for term insurance, and let's say I want to go with John Hancock to get a universal life policy because their product priced out better based on the plan or the product that they have. So the reason would be, applying for UL policy. So what they'll do is they'll take the death benefit that I'm applying for on this Lincoln National Life policy and take this death benefit and combine it. So I'm applying for $1 million, $500,000 with Lincoln, and $500,000 with John Hancock. So it gives them a clear picture of what you're trying to do. Okay?
Okay. So while issuing application, will the current carrier will check whether his pending applications are issued, or it's still pending, or he has withdrawn?
Yeah, well, there's a source called MIB, is it Medical Insurance Bureau?
It's the Medical Information Bureau, but that won't show what happened with the outcome of the policy. They won't, Dharma, there's no way for them to check except asking the insured. So remember, this is a legal document. So your intent here must be spelled out and must be accurate.
Correct. They're trusting the information you're providing is, 1,000% accurate.
Yes. So if you are just applying and it says here you've applied for another company. So there's no way, they can't check with the other company. They won't disclose that information.
Okay.
Lots of times too, you'll have sometimes you'll get, one insured and they'll apply with 2 or 3 different carriers, and the intent is only to take the best policy. I don't believe in that, but, there's lots of agents that do some unusual things. So you will see that, applying for term, let's say, and the intent or plan is to take the best offer.
And that would be represented in number 37, because that's exactly where question 37 comes into play. Is, okay, you've applied here, you've obviously applied to John Hancock. What's the total you're taking? So that's where they would put that million that Jolie referred to, if you're taking both.
Right. But in this situation, I'm only planning on taking the best offer.
Yeah.
So
then
it
it'd
would
be 500. Yep, exactly.
And if I had no insurance, this would be a nice juicy 0. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Premiums. If the policy is going to be loan or otherwise financed, this is referring to a life settlement or premium financing. There are policies out there that there's companies that will buy anything here in the United States. So there's companies out there, it's called the life settlement. And let's say your 90-year-old mother has a policy that's been in force, and, it's got, I don't know, $100,000 worth of cash value in it that she's built in it, and it's just sitting there. Well, there's companies out there that, based on her age and her medical records, they can determine what her life expectancy is. So they take their factors and all that, and let's say they predict her life expectancy is, 5 years. So they could potentially buy the policy. So that's what they're looking for here. And again, this is another trigger spot that, insureds or agents don't realize the ramifications of these questions. Reason being is, if you're thinking about premium financing or life settling your application, an application that you currently have in force, chances are you're an unhealthy person. So again, these questions are super important that they're answered, correctly. I would say 9 out of 10 times you're going to see that this says no. This next question, have you applied for life health? This is, again, an important question.
Please zoom out.
Sure.
Because we are able to see only that particular portion in the application.